Alrighty, folks. Hello and welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. The Summer Bracket Challenge rolls on. We have some pretty strong matchups. We'll bring it all the way back around to the top, where we will start off with Mr. Philip Lahm. First, Kylian Mbappe.
Well, this is where it gets
An
smart.
interesting one.
This
The
is where it
Champions
gets
League
smart.
final, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm about
Champions
to
League
say.
final.
Champions League final. So one's been there, one hasn't.
Well, if you're talking about a guy who shows up in the clutch in a final,
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm going
But-
Mbappe.
Mbappe showed up in a World Cup final
I'm going Mbappe.
twice.
twice. Yeah. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. Again, I think
I'm gonna break the ice and say Mbappe.
I'm gonna say Mbappe. Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
the ice moving.
No, I'm gonna take the Gazelle over Lam for sure.
Well, I'm
I,
solid, man.
I mean,
That's
Lam in his prime was no slowpoke.
No.
He had some speed on him for sure. Definitely has the captain's presence. Serial winner. I mean, they've both won World Cups. I think what does it for me is with Philip Lahm, you know exactly what you're getting. Yes, that's spectacular. But with Mbappe, there are gonna be moments of magic where you're just like, wow, just
Yeah, you
where
always
it's
talk about
like,
that X factor. Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a thing where he's really good and he plays really good, and then he turns it up, and you're like, where'd that come from? Like, I mean, literally the last World Cup final, you're like, yeah, they're done. And then this dude was like, no, we're not done. I'm not done. And he was like, let me just drag you with me.
Yeah.
And
30 minutes or 20 minutes left in the game. He's like 70th minute. Yeah.
literally, if Emi Martinez doesn't make an amazing save, golden ball.
If my man just lays it off to Mbappe, the man who scored all
FIFA
the
pass.
goals. It's a FIFA pass. Just
It's
literally.
just a FIFA pass.
Just what? Just all you have to do is just inside of the foot. It's coming over the shoulder. Just here you go, buddy.
I wonder if Mbappe, like 3 o'clock in the morning, randomly calls dude up, yo,
Watch
should
this
pass the
replay.
ball.
Watch this replay.
It's
Send
like,
in
what's
the
the
replay
movie
where he's just
Jim
over here,
with the
circled.
Jim Carrey one with the laces.
Yeah. I sent you a GIF. I sent you an email. Check that.
Check that. Has the distance, all the speed needed. It's just all you had to do. It's just
What you gonna do? I saw. I was as y'all know, Marta and Brazil were knocked out of the Women's World Cup. And so her long and illustrious international career came to an end. And it was the highest goal scorers in World Cup history. And she's at the top at 17, even above the men. But then I look down the list and it's like Messi 13, Mbappe 12, and I'm like, oh my god, he
man,
is
23.
rush that number.
He's playing two.
Yeah, Messi's
He's
playing
gonna,
what?
He's gonna
5,
finish at like
4?
30. You know?
Mbappe got at least two more. At least.
Yeah.
Minimum.
So I
About
mean,
that.
what we've seen so far from Mbappe is incredible. I can only imagine what else we're going to see from him because he's still young. He
Put
still
him
has
on a side. Put him on a side that can compete in the
I was
Champions
about to say,
League.
if you put him on an actual competitive team, like PSG is a very showy team. They've gotten to this point where you put him in the Prem or like Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, someone who can compete at high levels in the champs. Yeah, Jake, dude, you're
Dude,
not.
if he goes to Bayern, and Kane goes to Bayern, say goodbye to the Bundesliga.
Oh, dude,
What you mean
blasted.
say goodbye? They've been like gone.
Bundesliga's
forever
done.
ago.
Well, they had to win it on the last day.
Yeah, they had to win it on the last day.
Goal
to miss.
But that's because
differential.
they fired their manager in the middle of the season because they were just being goofy.
Yeah.
I'd hire Tuchel though.
Well, if
too.
Mbappe and Kane go to Bayern, the
You're
Bundesliga's
talking about Borussia, yeah.
long gone.
No, yeah.
Dortmund are just going to be crying. They're just gonna cry because it's over.
Oh, the gap would immediately go from this to this
Oh,
again
yeah.
immediately.
Oh, yeah.
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 Even if they get Kane, but we all
Yeah.
know his heart. Like he ruined. Like I just hate the saga that has happened with his career already. Like he had this
Who,
amazing
Kane or
opportunity.
Mbappe?
Mbappe. He had this. Well, Kane too, but
Kane
Kane's
too.
offers weren't as illustrious as Mbappe.
Yeah, he
Like
didn't
no
get a
one's offering
$1 billion
a
offer.
$1 billion offer. Even the Real Madrid offer that happened a couple of years ago was worth what 600-700 million something.
lot.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about Real Madrid being able to buy fighter jets, like with the money that they could get from the Mbappe deal. Like, if Real could form their own military, like, and be
Gonna
like
have our own
fourth
army.
world power at that point.
You know the interesting thing about Mbappe is that I said this to a friend of mine because we were talking about basketball, and I said what Mbappe is doing right now for individual players in soccer is or football, depending on what you call it, is he is doing what LeBron James did when he went to Miami. And they really empowered players where it was easy to take the long contract. They made the incentives where you can get the most money from your team. Mbappe easily could get a fulfilling gagillion. I don't even know if that's a number, dollars, euros, whatever.
A Google of
PSG.
dollars.
Right. He could get it from PSG. And he said no to them.
Yeah.
And then so they was like, okay, it must be money. And so Saudi offered him a 1-year deal for $1 billion more. And he still was like, no. And so that means he knows not only he is the brand and he has all the power, because if you're in the last year, a lot of players in the last year, their contracts kind of take, whatever. Mbappe not once has said he's going to sit out. He's like, hey, I want to play for the team. I want to play this year. I want to stay in shape. I'm going to play well. I'm going to try to help the team win, which I believe because he wants to win. And he's French, so you get the
That's
pride
what I
in
think
there.
the motivation is. I think he wants to be the greatest.
Right.
He
And so
he has the look on him like he wants to be. He didn't want Messi to win that World Cup
shouldn't have.
because he knew the conversation would be, oh, Messi's the GOAT, and now I have to go and win 4. Like if he could have stopped him there, all Mbappe has to do is win a couple Champions Leagues and another World Cup, and it's like the conversation is then Mbappe at 26. Right.
He's got the potential.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Lewis. I think it's he's one of the last few remaining players that can get paid because he wants to compete as well.
Yeah.
He has the both mentality.
So if he goes to Real Madrid, or should I say when he goes to Real Madrid, it is what it is. I mean, they're going to be good. And, it just depends who's out there. Like, I mean, would I give my team a chance against them? Absolutely. But, I also would need my team to be managed by Pep Guardiola. If they're not, then I mean, my opinion is a bit different. Carlo Ancelotti is leaving. I mean, did they say who was going to replace him?
Oh,
Not yet.
And so that matters, though. That really matters.
Yeah.
Because,
I forgot.
Well, follow this pipe dream. Follow this pipe dream with me. Just go out on this really thin limb with me here. If Arsenal win Champions League this season, if we take down the Champions League this season, do you think we have the allure to bring him next year above Madrid?
No.
Madrid is Madrid.
It's the name, right? It's his brand.
lame.
Like Lewis was just saying.
Madrid is green.
Lewis was just saying, Mbappe knows his name carries that. If he can pair that with Madrid, it's the Ronaldo. It's again, he's the new Ronaldo there. Like he can embody that legacy.
Yeah.
There's 2 teams in the world that he could go to where his name would carry that. And none of them are in England, Germany, or France. And that's Real Madrid and Barcelona. That's it. There's the only 2 places that, like, literally, you just say
Which
the
makes
name.
no sense. Barca's done. They've been done. They're done. They've been done.
But that's why they have 37,000 levers. And so, because they have 37,000 levers,
unpaid checks.
But it doesn't matter. Think about it. Guardiola was through their system, the City whole front staff, and they have accepted that Barcelona still hadn't paid them 40 million euros and still is going to send the player to them. It's those 2
Look
teams.
at their money one day. They're not working.
No, they're not. They're never going to get that money. And so in La Liga, you play for Real Madrid, and you play for Barcelona. Because what's the biggest game in the world? And we're not going to pretend like we don't know. It's the Clasico.
It's a Clasico.
It's literally the Clasico. I mean,
They just played it. They just played a preseason Clasico and got all worked up about it like last week. So
and they played for real in that game.
yeah,
And so, I mean, the fact that they played it in a giant American stadium and it was full of people and Americans got to see it, which means it's going to be even bigger than it was before. You don't have to know. You can be under
Well,
a
I
rock.
tune in. Right. I love the Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of the
yeah.
La Liga.
And you're
You watch El
there's
Clasico.
no team.
But we watch the El
Everybody
Clasico.
watches
We
the
always
Clasico.
talk about watching the El Clasico.
There's no team. He's going to either Barcelona, which he's not, or
No.
Real Madrid, which he is.
It's
Well,
just
there you
next
have it.
year. Right.
There you have it. Yeah,
No, it's Mbappe over long. Sorry.
Mbappe over
Yeah,
Lon.
Mbappe.
Yeah, it comes back to that. All right, moving on. Next up, sorry about you, Xavier.
Yeah.
To go ahead and extend a formal apology because your man Ashley Cole has found himself up against Ronaldinho. Yeah, it's rough.
By the way, this is on Ronaldinho's subject. Yunus Musa has moved to Milan, and he's taken Ronaldinho's
He's taking
number.
Ronnie's number. I saw that.
I'm like, dude, you better
Yeah.
perform, man. You can't be taking my man's number and not perform.
Talk about big shoes to fill. That's a big shirt to fill.
I'm interested to see X's thoughts here because
It's
I know who he's going to go with. I know he's
But
going
you
to
know
go.
he's wrong.
it's Ronaldinho, man.
with.
Like, I love Ashley Cole. He's one of the reasons why I'm a Chelsea fan. Just brought up in that era of our history. I loved that squad. I loved Ashley Cole as a player. Loved him at the England level. Just a brute of a left. Like, he's the embodiment of what I wanted to be. If I got ever moved to left back, even though I played more wing, that's the kind of left back I wanted to be. Just being able to track back on defense, stop him, get the ball, make the pass, bang up field, and hit the big man, or lay it off to where you can and invert where you can. And for Ronaldinho, we've said it again. Like, if they're gonna make a logo like they did for the NBA and the MLB, where it's that specific player, Ronaldinho revolutionized. He revolutionized our game. He brought it into the modern world. He made it flashy. He made it fun. He made it look beautiful. And that's what the game's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look beautiful. It's a beautiful, it has a poetic nature to it. Ronaldinho embodied that.
That smile,
At greatness, with skill, with grace. He's one of those players that you never really saw him as the bad guy, even though you hated playing it. You hated lining up against him on a team sheet. But he was never the bad guy. Because, again, that smile, he was having fun with it. He looked like he was playing soccer while dancing. Like, he had a dance to him, man. It's Ronnie. Ronnie's going to go really far in this for me, but he's one of my top 3
I don't know.
players ever.
That next matchup can be fire.
But yeah, I love Ashley Cole. I hate it for him. To lose to somebody like Ronaldinho, that's admirable. I'll take that all day for my boy.
But, yeah, Ronnie just beat Patrick Vieira in the last round. So I know how you're feeling.
Right. It's Ronaldinho. As much love as I can give to Ashley Cole. It's greatest left, in my opinion, it's greatest left back to ever play. He's the GOAT of his position. But again, you're going up probably against the one of 2 GOATs in the 10 that have ever played this game. So.
Would you prefer Milan Ronaldinho or Barca Ronaldinho?
Barca Ronaldinho. Because he knew he had the guys, so he would just try dumb stuff. Because he knew if he just dinked that
didn't he overlap with young Messi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
he got
Messi
Messi
was
his
wearing
first goal.
17 and had
He got Messi his first goal.
Just imagine. Wow. Yeah.
He dinked it over the defense for Messi to just beat the line and just sink one in.
Well, I don't really forget much. I don't forgive a lot either. So my vote was always Ronaldinho on this one.
Yeah,
but
he's the villain in y'all's story.
I mean, I have a lot of love for sure, but Yeah. Ronaldinho, Jogo Benito, the OG. Gotta love it.
Have to.
Any thoughts, Lewis?
I mean, it's what he said. I mean, this was. I'm not saying it was an easy one, but I mean, if these are my two choices, you let the heart lead you on stuff like this, and you smile when you think about the man. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that moment of magic you're looking for, that beautiful moment, that goal or that pass, he embodied all of it, man. And he had
Yeah.
the ball on an absolute shoelace.
It's like you said. It's like you said. Oh, we got to play Ronaldinho this weekend.
Right. Right. Who's gonna get the ball off him? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my man played a real live version of the longest yard. Like, he's done it all. Like, my man's done it all.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Patrick?
I was just gonna say I was watching not a YouTube, a clip on, we'll call it Twitter still, on, I want to say it was Thursday of last week, and it was Ronaldinho and a bunch of these kids, and they were doing like tricks, and he was there like trying to create new ideas, and like he did one where he took the ball and he flipped it onto his back, and he held it on his back, and then he dropped it, and then like a scorpion kicked off of it, and I'm just like, dude, like,
What are you on? Right. Like, what are you on?
And this was like recently.
no, this is when
Okay.
he was younger, but he was with a bunch of kids, and they were just
Yeah.
trying to do like little tricks and whatnot. And I also saw a clip where somebody just kicked it like a mile high, and it's coming down to him, and he just, like, there's no bounce, there's nothing, and it just like cradles on his
Right.
foot.
He had the ball on a shoe. Like, it's an invisible shoelace he would just put on the ball. And
Yeah.
you're just not, he's doing
You
whatever
know,
he wants
one of
to do.
my you know,
It's amazing.
one thing that I tend to describe, like if you ask my taste about things that I like, things I like to see or whatever, I call it the stank face. And Ronaldinho is definitely one that when you see him play, you're just like, oh God,
Dirty.
so good.
Just
Oh,
dirty. Yeah.
oh, because he's just too good. So yeah, I'm with it. I'm here for it.
It's Ronaldinho. No offense to
Ronaldinho
Ashley
moving
Cole,
on.
but
Love my
Ronaldinho.
boy. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you have it. I think we are going to call it a night right there on the bracket challenge for now. Go ahead and get the likes up if you're enjoying the bracket. Subscribe to the channel and get that little bell on so you know when the rest of the series drops. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great night.
Absolutely.